We good? Hello, everybody. Hey. Did they just give you guys freaking laptops? Does anyone have theirs to like show me, or do you get it later?
12:30.
Oh, you know exactly when it is, yeah, 12:30. I'll get it at 12:30, yes. You know that we don't get those, the Microsoft people. Oh, yeah, you do. No whining, no whining. I think that's pretty awesome, and I actually did not see that coming. I did not. I was at the keynote preview during the practice, and they didn't say anything. They just showed the slide with the box, and I thought it was one of those United Airlines kind of things, and there'd be like snacks inside. I had no idea that that box represented a laptop. That's pretty awesome. Cool. All right, so I promised no slides, but I had to put up a slide because they require us to use the slide machine. So there you go. There's a slide. I work for STO, Server and Tools Online. We're like MSDN and TechNet and all that kind of good stuff. I work for Microsoft. Microsoft. This is the kinder, gentler Microsoft. It's usually the Death Star that I show here, but now I show happier things. Because it's so much more iconic than the Death Star, really, a flying turtle with, I don't know, Belgium on its back. I'm not really sure what that is. And there's like a gecko here. This is the Geico gecko inside. I work in open source. I wrote a book with these guys. You may have seen the extended forehead edition that John Galloway made for us. But you can go and get this. If you haven't seen this already, feel free to go and download the 200 pages of the free. It's all Creative Commons, tinyurl.com/ASP.NET-MVC. And I'm going to be using Visual Studio 2010 Beta 2. And I'm assuming that people here are familiar. I mean, this is like a 800 level talk, right? What does it build at? 300 level, 400 level? It's not a beginner talk, right? If this is the first time you've seen the 3 circles, then talk is probably not going to be good. I'm not going to do the whole file new project and welcome to MVC thing. So, you know, if you're going, oh, model view controller, oh, thank you, green circle. I thought I understood MVC, and then I saw the 3 circles. This is not the talk for you, and now the code. Boom, I'm done with that. So I've fulfilled my obligation to the PDC organizers, and I will move over to laptop. So inspirational. I don't know what this little man is. A little spaceman with, I don't know what's underneath there, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid of that guy. You think it's a tooth? This is a little tooth man with a zipper? What is the zipper for? Yeah, it's an improvement there. Yeah, the cupcake devils here. All right, let's get it. I don't want to see those guys anymore. All right. And remember, of course, that when you're when you're interviewing an MVC programmer, you want to go and look at their recent programs. And if you see like MVC application 522, 523, then you know they're a good programmer because they're trying things and they're always mixing it up. So definitely check out the recent projects and solutions of new hires that you might be coming up with here. Let's do this. Let's go over to. What's a good demo here? Let's do this. It's just like, people always do the hello world demo, right? Let's go in here and be like, yeah, you suck. Do I need the semicolon in there? Do I need the semicolon? I don't know. Let's find out. Fire that up, see what's going on. Bam, right? So, I've been owned, right? And why has this happened? Or pwned. I've been pwned. This has happened because at some point I did not go and encode my output, right? So we've seen this kind of stuff before. Typically what I have to do is go over here into my view page and do something like HTML.encode and do this. And then I won't be so pwned, right? This is lame, right? We agree that this is kind of a bummer. We could have maybe done it like this. You could call it like E or something, or made some magic voodoo for it, but it's still shoving stuff inside of a function to do that encoding. And you need to do this a lot. So in ASP.NET MVC and ASP.NET 4, we've got a new syntax to make that easier. Instead of doing it like this, we'll take the syntax that you're familiar with, right, and we're going to just go like that. Isn't that sweet? That's friggin' sweet. It's awesome. And you know how we remember that? The mnemonic the mnemonic that we remember that? You just take the equal sign and you turn it like a little gate, and you look at it down the side like that, because it's not a colon, it's a little equal sign that's being closed. So it's not because that was the only character we hadn't used yet. It was totally the whole gate story that I just told you. So, 10 years from now, if anyone asks, it's like, because we were like, no. It's like, are you writing a regular expression? What's going on? Hey, it's a little gate. So that was the, that's the story. That's going to be pretty cool, though. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to want to see that being your default. And a lot of people ask, why isn't it the default all the time? Well, if we switched it, right, if we switched it without telling you, that would break a bunch of stuff. That would mean that you couldn't take an old application and bring it over. Well, then other people say, well, gosh, why didn't you put it in the web config? Right, it should have been a switch. Well, then the project doesn't stand alone anymore, and that file doesn't stand alone. And if I picked up that view and I used it somewhere else, there's this magic bit of configuration over here. So remember, the whole philosophy of ASP.NET MVC is trying to avoid that kind of like magic switch in the web config. So this is kind of a new syntax for a new day, and then hopefully 10 years from now, the young programmers will not remember the old syntax, and they'll do this, and it'll be good. It'll be happy. So this is Ninja tips and tricks. So I'm trying to show you some little things like this, little insights throughout the talk to give you stuff that you may or may not have already seen before. So this is just MVC application 6. This is one of the file new projects that I went and did. You've probably seen the tooling for things like add controller, and this thing pops up, and I can go and create a new controller and say things like add update methods and hit add, right? And then I get this nice thing here. Or I can go down into views, and I can say things like add view. And I get this dialog, and that's called, we call that tooling. That's stuff that was put into Visual Studio when you installed ASP.NET MVC. Of course, with Visual Studio 2010 Beta 2, you won't have to worry about that because MVC is installed out of the box. MVC is, if you haven't heard, it's a real thing. It's built in. It's shipping with Visual Studio 2010. So when you install 2010, it's already there. So that's cool. You may have heard also that Phil Hack put on his blog either late last night or late yesterday morning, I think, that ASP.NET MVC 2 beta is out. So if you got 2008, you can play with that now. So that's cool. So you've still got support in 3.5. So you can see that Phil and the team are definitely marching towards some awesome completion. Now let's do this. I don't really have a model. You guys remember the whole thing where we put them, you know why we put the models folder there? Have you guys heard this story? You know why? So there's the views folder, right? That holds all the views, and then there's a controllers folder for the controllers. The models folder is there because if it wasn't, you would ask why it wasn't there. Totally true. It's not magic. It's just because people want to know where it is. And it makes them feel like, oh, well, that's where they go. People would call. It's totally true. You think I'm joking. I'm not. Let's go and say add new class, and we'll make a model. I love the new dialog boxes in 2010. We'll make a person class, and we'll go prop tab, string tab, list, enter, prop tab, string tab, first name. Did you guys talk to yourself when you guys don't do that? Like, maybe that's just me. I'm sorry. No? Is it really? Oh, wow. I feel really embarrassed. I totally am like, hello, person class. How are you? That's kind of a happy girl. Hello, last name. You're a public property. How are you doing? Ooh, it's a lady. So if I say add view, I love you guys. Do you know how happy I am to be a part of the community? I can't even stand it. Let's make a view name called poop. And actually, I forgot I got to compile that. And we'll say add view, boop. My 2-year-old his birthday is today, and hopefully he will be not wearing diapers when we get home. Notice how person just appeared. I said, I'm going to make a new view, and then the tooling says, well, you could create a strongly typed view, right? That person could be a model, or it could be a view model. It could be a projection of data that's coming out of some model or some database. And then the modeling, the tooling rather, automatically picked that up so that drop-down box appeared. And then there's this other drop down next to it that says view content, that says, well, what are you doing? Are you doing a details page about a person? So I could say I'm doing a details page and then hit add, and then I get this, right? Yay, why is he showing me this stuff? And of course, this will probably be changed by the time we ship to something like that. What's interesting, the Ninja trick is that you can manipulate that tooling. So I'm going to switch over and use my wonderful pinned folder here, and I've got this saved search called code templates. And what this is, it's literally just a Windows 7 saved search that's going to go look for the word code templates under Program Files, Visual Studio 10. Okay? And I do that as a saved search because this is deep in the bowels of the beast. I mean, we don't know, right? Once I get into Common 7, I know that, like, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. And then once I start getting lower down, I mean, it's insane. So I just go and search for the word code templates, and you can too. Then I'll right-click on that and say Open Folder Location. So now I'm into the beast. And this is, if you didn't know, where all of those templates live. These are the zip files that represent all of that file new this and that. And when you say make a new controller, make a new this and that, they appear. Inside of code templates are things that we might care about for adding controllers and adding views. What you want to do is you want to pick up code templates. Okay? So I'm going to keep